Hello, I'm Jason Lee Willis, and as an author and book lover, I'm excited about Independent Bookstore Day coming up on Saturday. So to celebrate, let me introduce you to several stores I've visited recently. Up first on our tour, we have 108 Alchemy, which isn't technically a bookstore, but considering Mankato doesn't have an independent bookstore, I wanted to start this one off. So you'll find 108 Alchemy in downtown Mankato, and it's a really cool store. It does feature some local Minnesota authors. So again, it's like this fun little section down in Riverfront. A lot of fun things to go visit on Riverfront in downtown Mankato. You'll find 108 Alchemy just tucked right off of Riverfront. Let me just show you a few more things about 108 Alchemy. So I was able to visit there earlier this past fall, and so you'll get to meet Alex and Justin, the Eck brothers, and they've got a cool little shop. Again, it's kind of an art store. There's been a lot of fun local press, and I really hope they keep growing as a bookstore so they can kind of be my little home away from home. Our second bookstore takes us down the Mississippi River quite a ways, down to the corner of Iowa. And of course that one is the Burlington by the Bookstore. And so I've been here a couple times already. It's a cute little shop, again, downtown Burlington, Iowa, right on the Mississippi River. So there's some really cool tourism. And having been there before, I went down there 2 years ago. It was a really fun visit, and so I ended up bringing my wife to Burlington by the Book. And so it's like, oh, there I am. And one of my favorite things about it is it's just got such a great little downtown area. A lot of fun things to make it a day trip. And the store itself is just great. The owner of the store, Chris, does a great job inviting authors in. There's Chris. And so he does a great job inviting local authors in. And so I went down there once in November. I think it was like last summer I went down during the summer. Spent a day at their farmer's market. So, oh, there I am. Yep. So, farmer's market. So, fun place to go visit. So that's Burlington by the Book. I'm introducing you to these bookstores in alphabetical order, and I suddenly realized that it's like, wait, BE comes before either BU for Burlington or BY. Here we are in the third spot is Beagle and Wolf Books and Bindery. And this one is the opposite direction of Iowa. This one is up north a bit. So I'll just show you a kind of cool little area. This is an area that I just love visiting. And so you can see kind of a lake community. The town itself of Park Rapids isn't the biggest in the world, but once you get in there, now I only visited this during the summer, and it was a blast. You can see then, let me just show you the satellite view. One of my favorite features about this one is just the really cool downtown, and if I zoom in a little bit, you can see then that it's one of those old school, like diagonal parking, and they even had parking in the middle of the street. So it was really fun for my wife and I to just go walk around and visit some really cool shops. It was a vibrant downtown when we visited. People were everywhere. Just this little, lakes community. So that's kind of where you can find Beagle and Wolf. So let me just show you a little bit more. So again, Beagle and Wolf has been an independent bookstore for a while now up at Park Rapids. Again, I don't know if it's as hopping during the winter as you see in this picture, but I had a good time there. Here's just their Facebook, and again, very supportive of local authors. You can see there's Alan Eskins. She has a lot of people come through here. You can see there's there's me with my double friends, Chris's. We got Chris and Chris there, and so we did an event there last summer, right before we went to the Hackensack Book Festival, the Northwoods Book Festival. So I had a good time there. Again, it's kind of a fun little stop, cool little bookstore. So that's definitely, if you're up in the Northwoods, this is a fun little spot for you to pick out one of those. There I am again. But it's a fun little spot to pick out one of those good, like summer reads if you're going to be hanging out at the cabin. So that is Beagle and Wolf Bindery in Park Rapids. You might notice a trend with my bookstores is I do love bookstores for some reason along the Mississippi River corridor. So as we zoom into this one, we're going next to Fair Trade Books. Again, this one is in the little town of Red Wing, which again is just a cute little place right off of the Mississippi River. My wife and I, we like to go out to this one quite a bit. And when you go to Fair Trade Books, let me just introduce you a little bit. Some of my favorite things about this is Zoe and Rick. If you go to this book fair for their first time, Rick is going to ask you kind of like, what's your favorite type of book to read, and he's going to find you a gift. He'll find you a book since it's your first time there. So that's kind of a fun little thing to see, is that he'll make it really fun for you. The other fun features, I don't see any pictures of Reveler, but they have there's me again on my road trip. But they have a fun shop dog named Reveler, and so it's fun to. They have people that come in and walk Reveler. It's a hoot. But real supportive of local authors. So you can see, different times I've visited this place. three times now. And so you can be, inside or outside. So you can see this one right here. When I was in May, I set up outside. Fun little shop. Again, really dedicated fan base, people that come in there. I recognize several people already just from my couple trips that I've done, so it's kind of a fun little stop. There's my friend Chris, and so a lot of independent authors find themselves supported at a little shop like this. And so this is Fair Trade in Red Wing. And again, my wife and I, one of our favorite things that we love to do is we love to go out and eat too. So there's a bakery in Red Wing that we sure do like to visit. So that is Fair Trade Books in the little town of Red Wing. The next store is not located on the Mississippi River, but it is located on some water. So we're next going up to the north corner to the town of Duluth, and that's where you will find the bookstore at Fitker's. Now, if you don't know anything about Fitker's, it's a great historical, kind of like, bayfront downtown here. You get to see the big ships coming in, and then you can, Fitker's itself, you can just lose yourself in a couple hours. For a couple hours, they've got, all sorts of fun things in this old historic building. There's a little parking space you can pull into, and then again, it took me a little bit just to figure out where the bookstore was, because this is a pretty dense little tourist attraction. So the store itself, again, it's a happening place. I really was impressed by how busy it was. And part of the reason why they stay so busy is, boy, do they hit the social media. So they pack in a lot of authors, throughout the week. And so it's kind of a fun happening place, and it's not the biggest bookstore in the world, but it's packed tight. There's a lot of really cool merchandise, cool books, and again, part of what's cool about independent bookstores is they also recognize the importance of independent authors, and so they are very welcoming. You can see a lot of people stop by and visit, have events, and I doubt that it would probably take me an hour to scroll down to find my post, but it's kind of fun because they set up this little table in the doorway. You can't see it from this picture, but the table's facing the hall, so it's a great place to just catch people that are cruising by, because again, the people are going for dinner, they're cruising the other shops, they're just walking the whole waterfront area. So they set you up at this cool little table. People like flying by, and the people that come in for the bookstore, they always swing by as well. So it's kind of a really fun environment. and this is the manager, Jennifer. Very accommodating, great, and they had really fun staff. And I was there on a Friday night, and they had like 3 or 4 people working, and the books are flying out of there. So it's a really cool place up in Duluth. For our next store, we're going to head west, at least west from where I'm at. We're going to be going to Full Circle Book Co-op, not to be confused with a book coop, in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Again, a friend of a friend told me about this one, and it's a really unique store. What you'll see with this one, you can see it just from the heading, Books, Art, and Beer. And so the Full Circle Book Co-op is, if I lived in Sioux Falls, this would be the place to hang out. You can just, it's downtown Sioux Falls. And, when I went there, it was just kind of like, it was a hanging out at the bar kind of night, kind of informal. But you can just see some of the events and such that they've done. They're very diverse in kind of like what sort of things they like to host. There I am back in November, and they have like creative workshop for writers. They've got poetry nights, and so it's kind of a cool little place downtown Mankato. So that is Full Circle Book Co-op. Our next stop is perhaps the youngest of all of these bookstores, Garden Party Books in Rochester. And so the fun thing about this one, let me just kind of zoom in and kind of show you, is it's you can get to it pretty easily in Rochester. You can just see it's just like right off of the main drag, and so it's very accessible from what I found. So you can just get there and get out. You're not going to get trapped downtown Rochester. So that's one thing that I liked about it. And it's kind of a unique building. And so I'll zoom in a little bit. You can kind of see here's the building, and right next to it is a theater. And so when you go to their website, again, you'll get to see that's who I got to meet. So that is Anna, I've forgotten already. But that's the owner. And again, she's got this fun crew of people. I met her husband. He was next door at the theater. And so it's this fun little, corner of Rochester where they've got like 3 businesses kind of in one. And right here, then you can see it's a used bookstore. And what I really loved about this one was just, again, it had a really unique footprint. And the store itself, you can start to see, had all of these little nooks and crannies. And so since it wasn't originally a bookstore, they kind of, they used these spaces to kind of like set up different areas for different genres. And so it was really fun just walking around this place, just seeing the little different areas they had. For example, like you see one of the themes, the murder room, where you just like tuck in away here, and they've got all their books that focus on thrillers or horror. So it was really a cool concept, and it was a real joy to just like walk around that bookstore and just check out all the different genres. So that is Garden Party Books in Rochester. I found this next bookstore when I was looking for an excuse to visit my aunt and uncle in Forest Lake, and that is Lake Country Booksellers in nearby White Bear Lake. And so I'll just zoom in on this one. So you can see it's kind of northeast suburb of the Twin Cities. And yeah, I'm just right down the road from where my aunt and uncle are found in Forest Lake. But you can see then here is the town of White Bear Lake. So it's just right off the main drag. It's this cool little town, cool little bookstore. And so that is Lake Country Booksellers. Let me show you their store. Now, what's fun about this one is it's it says charming downtown, and it is. What's really fun about this one is it's not a huge bookstore, but you can see that it has a big reputation. So a small bookstore, big reputation. So there's William Kent Kruger showing you, what a cool guy he is by going to these independent bookstores. But for myself, It was kind of a fun little opportunity. My friend Julie is what you do is this little bookstore. Since there's not a lot of walking space inside, not even space to really set up a table, she lets you set up outside during the summer. And so here's an example of it. So you get to have a table right outside. And what's fun about this place during the summer is they have farmers markets, and they've got, you can barely see it, they've got a bunch of trees in the area. And so it's this shaded, fun farmers market. And as a result, it's become this fun little trend. That's Susie. That's the owner of the bookstore. It's been this fun little trend for local authors. I know Brian. Local authors to come down and pitch their book, and it's just fun hanging out there. So again, there's just so much stuff happening. You've seen a lot of Chris today, I know. So you get to see a lot of the fun community. There's a lot of traffic. And so even if people aren't picking up your book, like a big line like William K. Kruger had, it's like, oh man, I've got envy. Look at that. They're all waiting, like going down the corner. But even when you don't have a big line, it's a really fun place because folks will just stop by and say hi. So this one's definitely, I'm glad I'm going to be coming back to this place later this summer. So I've got some new books, and so I'm going to be bringing them to Lake Country Booksellers in White Bear Lake. Our tour continues and takes us to Owatonna, Minnesota, where you'll find the Little Professor Bookstore. So again, this is found in Owatonna. And what's kind of unique about this one, once you get in there, I'm kind of looking forward to doing that this summer. You can see that there's Central Park here, not the Central Park, of course, but they have a farmer's market. So I'll be coming here this summer, and I'll be setting up outside of the store facing the farmer's market. So I'm looking forward to that. That's always got a lot of charm. Again, same reason I like Lake Country Booksellers. This is the literary home of my friend Chris Norbury. He's also from Owatonna, and so he put me onto this bookstore. My publisher Kirsten, she stocks the books there too. So it's this fun little local bookstore. Recently new ownership, and so I went and supported my friend Chris when he was last there. This must be the large print version of Dangerous Straits, because I don't remember it being that thick, Chris. But we went out and visited him last March, and that's where I made a big mistake. I used to be my wife's number 2 favorite author behind William Kent Kruger, and now she's read all 3 of Chris's books, and I've been bumped down to number 3. So thanks, Chris. Thanks for that one. Our next bookstore is a specialty shop that specializes in mystery books, crime books, things like that. So you can see here on the map, we are now going down to Twin Cities. You can see that there's 35W coming in, and I found it surprisingly easy to get to. So again, you're just coming up 35W, and you can see about the time where you'd be doing your turnoff. You get off right before then. Then it's just a few blocks away. And what's cool about this bookstore, you can I'll just kind of show you. It's just a little bit off of some really cool downtown area, but the store itself, you can see it here in this picture. It's just kind of like this little like underground basement area. So it was really fun to again find it, and then it's kind of almost a little mystery. It's like, what's down there? So that was kind of cool. Again, I was just here a little bit ago, visited them, and they also do a nice job, hosting a lot of independent authors. I'll show you these. So again, here's the entrance to Once Upon a Crime, and then you get down there, and again, their specialty is it needs to be a mystery or a crime book. And so a lot of my friends told me about this one, so I enjoyed, kind of walking around and just checking out the place. People I've met through the years. I went to see Marcy at BoucherCon, so a lot of fun names that I kind of knew with local authors. Our William Kent Kruger, the big authors down to the little authors like myself. So it was a really fun place to visit. So that is, again, Once Upon a Crime in Minneapolis. Looks like we're back on the Mississippi River. This time we're going to be going out to the town of Winona, and the bookstore is Paperbacks and Pieces. So you can see here, we'll just zoom in. So there's the town of Winona, there's the Mississippi River. And this one is a really cool used bookstore. It's a big bookstore, and so they've got a lot of space inside, and Shannon, the owner, took over a couple years ago, and she's really, moving through the inventory. Here's a look at their website. Again, it's a large bookstore, 40,000 books on the shelves, so it's impressive. And again, what's really fun, there's Shannon. She does a nice job. Again, flipping her inventory. She's on social media a lot. It's kind of fun. She's a very engaged owner. So I've gone down to Paperbacks and Pieces a couple times now, and I really have enjoyed my experience. So that's just again in Winona. And our final bookstore on our little bookstore tour, coincidentally, I'll be finishing with Sweet Reads, and so that's kind of one of the closer bookstores to where I live. And one of the things to know about Sweet Reads, that you can see, obviously, Sweet Reads Books and Candy, but the owner of Sweet Reads is also one of the sweetest people you'll meet. So inside the town of Austin, you can find Sweet Reads right across from the Spam Museum. So again, there's a lot of fun shops in downtown Austin, and Sweet Reads is definitely worth your trip. So let me just show you a little bit more. There's Lisa. Lisa, again, is one of my favorites. She's just a real sweet soul. It's always a joy to go visit her. And then I've done several events in Austin already. It's been great. Recently, last summer, Lisa had me up on the stage. I don't know what I was doing there, but it was really fun getting to speak with the people of Austin. And she does a great job, again, inviting all sorts of local authors. Here's a group of Fox Point authors. So she does a really nice job inviting people. I've been there a few times, and so it's definitely a trip worth making. So those are my favorite bookstores in the area. So I hope you can go out and support all of them during Independent Bookstore Days. Again, a lot of these places, they're in it for the love of literature, and if you support them, your money's not going to outer space. So avoid Amazon, support your local independent bookstore. It's a real joy to go to these places and meet with the owners, who all have their different flavors, and their whole goal is to just kind of hook you up with the right book. So that is my tour of my favorite local independent bookstores.